All of you, good morning. Come on, my dear students. I am Anburaj, social science teacher, RE Metric Higher Secondary School, Melur. In this session, we have got to study Civics Unit 1 portion, Fundamental Duties, Center-State Relations, Official Languages, Emergency Provisions, and Amendment of the Constitution. First of all, we have got to study the fundamental duties. The fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution are inspired by the Constitution of former USSR. Here, inspire means of extraordinary quality or as if arising from some external creative impulse. Okay. In 1976, the Congress Party set up the Sardar Swaran Singh Committee. The Congress Party set up Sardar Swaran Singh Committee to make recommendations of fundamental duties. The 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 added some responsibilities of citizens. Here, responsibilities means the state or fact of being accountable. Okay. Responsibilities of citizens to our constitution called fundamental duties. This amendment added a new part, namely part 4A to the constitution. This new part consists of only one article, that is article 51A. Here consist means be composed or made up of. Okay. Article 51A. Article 51A, which for the first time specified a code of 10 fundamental duties of the citizens. Now, the fundamental list of the fundamental duties. Okay. Article 51A declares it to be the duty of every citizen of India. It to be the duty of every citizen of India. First, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Here, abide means accept or act in accordance with. Okay. To cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspire the national struggle for freedom. Cherish means protect and care for lovingly. Okay. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. To defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all people of India, transcending religious, linguistics, and regional or sectional diversities. To renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. Here, derogatory means showing a critical or disrespectful attitude. Okay. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. To protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife. And to have compassion for living creatures. To develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to abjure violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individuals and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievements. Lastly, to provide opportunities for education to his child or ward between the age of 6 and 14 years, under which all citizens of the of India or parents shall provide opportunities for education to their children between age of 6 and 14 years. Nextly, center-state relations. The Constitution of India, being federal in structure, divides all powers between the center and the states. Between the center and the states. The center-state relations can be studied under three heads. Firstly, the legislative relations. The Union Parliament has the power to legislate for the whole or any part of the territory of India. Here, territory means an area of land under the jurisdiction of a rule or state. Okay. The seventh schedule of the Constitution embodies three lists, namely the Union list, state list, and concurrent list, consisting of 97, 66, and 48 items respectively. The Parliament enjoys exclusive power to legislate on subject enumerated in the Union list. Here, enumerated means is a complete ordered listing of all the items in a collection. Okay. The state legislatures has exclusive right to legislate on the state list. Both parliament and state legislature have power to legislate on subject contained in the concurrent list. But in case of conflict between the law of state and union on a subject in the concurrent list, the law of parliament prevails. Here, prevails means proof or more powerful or superior. Okay. Next, administrative relations between the center and the state. The administrative powers of the state extends only to its own territory and with respect to which it has legislate competence, whereas the union has exclusive executive powers over the matters with respect to which parliament has exclusive power to make laws, and the exercise of its powers conferred by any treaty or agreement. Next, financial relations between the center and the states. Article 268 to 293 in part 12 deal with the financial relations between the center and the states. The center and states are empowered by constitution to impose various kinds of taxes. Various kinds of taxes. And certain taxes are imposed and collected by the center and divided between the center and the states based on the recommendations of the Finance Commission appointed by the President under Article 280 of the Constitution. late Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi appointed the Sarkaria Commission in 1983 to make an inquiry into the center-state relations. The central government has implemented 180 recommendations out of 247 of the commission. The most important is the establishment of Interstate Council in 1990. Nextly, we should knowing about the official languages of India. Part 17 of the Constitution deals with the official languages in Articles 343 to 351. Its provisions and these provisions and divided into 4 heads, namely languages of union, regional languages, languages of this judiciary, and a text of laws and special directives. The first language committee was appointed in 1955. It submitted its report in 1956. As a follow-up of the report, Parliament enacted the official languages. Act in 1963. The Act laid down that even after 15 years, English may continue to be used along with the Hindi for all official purposes of the Union, and also for transaction of business in Parliament. Again, through the official languages, Act 1977. This is the Amendment Act. It was provided that the use of English would continue indefinitely. The Constitution also permitted certain regional languages to be used for intra-state official languages. Initially, the Constitution recognized 14 regional languages which were included in the English schedule. At present, 22 languages are recognized by the official by the Indian Constitution for the use of official languages. Do you know the classic word, or do you know about the classical language? In 2004, the government of India decided to create new category of languages called as classical languages. So far, the six languages are granted the classical languages status by the Indian government, central government. Okay. Firstly, the Tamil was the Tamil language declared the classical languages in 2004, and then Sanskrit in 2005, and then Telugu in 2008, and Kannada also in 2008, Malayalam 2013, and Odia 2014.